so, in honor of Geekvolution's Spawn year, I thought I would review at least something Spawn related. And yes, I know Captain Logan is going to review a lot of Spawn stuff, and he's more than likely going to review this towards the end of Spawn year, or mid or some. He's definitely going to review this miniseries during the event of Spawn year. Now, I'm not attempting to upstage Captain Logan or say this is an unofficial tie-in to Spawn year. I was just like, I'll review something Spawnish. Okay. And that being the 3-part Violator series written by Alan Moore. Now, first things first, I'm not the biggest Alan Moore fan. Now, don't shoot me. I'm not a big fan of his work. I'm not a big fan of his work, but I understand what his work did for the comic book industry. I'm just not that much of a fan. However, I do like some of his work, like his Swamp Thing stuff, as well as The Killing Joke, and a few other things that he did, mostly among DC. But this is a 3-part miniseries written by him. Yeah, a Violator miniseries written by Alan Moore. Can you believe this? Out of all the characters in this... Now, yes, he had written Spawn comics before, but it's just... I think it's hilarious that someone of Alan Moore's caliber wrote a character that was so fucking grotesque, like the Violator. Now, the story pretty much delves into... Malbolgia has punished... Violator and has punished him for interfering too many times with trying to kill Spawn while trying to train him, and turns him into his clown form. While this is going on, every mob boss in New York wants the Violator dead because they figured out that little bastard's been ripping out our guys' hearts and eating them. Let's kill this fucker. So, excuse me. While also this is going on, while he's still, the clown is trying to dodge all these hitmen and mob bosses, his brothers, the Felbic brothers, back in hell, are found out, hey, our brother isn't so powerful anymore. Let's go up to Earth and kick his ass. And that's what they do. They go up to Earth to find him. Also, while this is going on, a wannabe naive vigilante called the Admonisher, yeah, he ain't a parody of Punisher at all, allies himself with Violator to quote-unquote protect him. So, that's your whole story. And can you believe this is only a 3-part miniseries? Alan Moore slams everything into 3 issues, and he does there's some really grotesque stuff, like, Violator, in his clown form, he's still a formidable opponent. He proves that he can still, throw down with it. But then when his brothers show up, he gets his ass kicked, and it's hilarious. Spawn does show up in issue 4, but he doesn't really do a lot. And he comes off as a total idiot, by the way. He comes off completely stupid, and I don't like that. And then again, other writers have written him even more stupid. And it's funny, too, we also get a cameo by the Youngbloods as well, and there's a funny little moment with Chapel in here, because Chapel's on the Youngbloods, and as we all know, Chapel is kind of an enemy to Spawn. Now, among other things, Violator's trying to devise this plan to get his powers back, and, try to get back in Malbolgia's good graces. Well, but however, he's having trouble doing that with everything trying to kill him. So, he ends up going to Spawn, and he's basically telling him, look, Spawn, we can work together again, I'm sorry, we cool? And Spawn gives him some of his power to allow him to turn into Violator again. And Violator, surprise, beats down Spawn while he's weakened. I totally, like I said, Spawn's kind of an idiot and should have known better. But regardless, this is a really good issue. It kind of delves into Violator's origin. I heard somewhere later on in the comics that Violator's origin gets rebooted again. But according to this miniseries, the origin of the Violator is that his father, Violator's father, was worshipped by the satanic cult, and his mother was a human that was a human sacrifice. That, basically all of his brothers were given these kidnapped virgin women and sacrificed as, concubines for their father, who pretty much raped them, and then they died after giving birth to the 4 children, 5 if you count Violator, and they die about a few days or a few hours later. So that's a small bit about Violator right there, is that he's pretty much like, hey, and he delves into it. He's just thinking back on it, and he has some really good gore scenes in here, like he's beating up one of his brothers. I think it's Vindicator. Yeah, all of his brothers have V names as well. And he's like, I'm not the Vindicator or the Victimizer or the Facilitator. I ain't even the Vegemanic. I'm the motherfucking Violator. I'm paraphrasing that last part, but still. And my Violator sucks, I know. But yeah, this is a really good book. Again, I'm not the biggest Alan Moore fan, but again, to each his own. If you like Alan Moore, if you're out there watching this and you like Alan Moore, that is totally cool. I have no grudge against you. To each his own, I always say. And again, there is work out there that I like of Alan Moore, like The Killing Joke, Whatever Happened to the Man of Steel. A few other things as well, I'm not all like, oh, I hate Alan Moore. Some of his work I'm not a big fan of, but most of his there are some work that I'll be like, oh, this is good. So, in conclusion, Violator, if you can find it, because it's funny too, because I found this 3-part miniseries at a convention, and they're only $1 a piece, and it's funny too, actually it was even less than that, because the guys I was talking to when I found these 3 comics, they were actually like, take them. We'll give them to you for like 50 cents a piece. And I got it for all 3 issues for about $1.50. So it was even less than what they were asking for, excuse me. And I've really enjoyed this. Violator is a villain that is just not really so much a villain, but a character I like reading about, because he's so fucking disgusting and just vile, pun intended. And I thought this was good. It's a fun gore fest for 3 issues. Alan Moore really packs in a lot of stuff revolving around the Violator. The only setback, like I said, is that character of 2 things. The Admonisher is really stupid, and Spawn is really stupid. Admonisher doesn't really do much. He just gets his ass kicked a lot and kills a couple guys, and then beats down, I think, he attacks one of the Felbic brothers and falls into hell. Again, I'm trying to remember all this because it's been a while since I've read this. In fact, I actually really want to go reread this now. But for the most part, this is a pretty cool story. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about this. If you are a fan of Spawn or just a fan of Violator, I'd say pick this up. It's a fun, gory story. Yeah, I should also say this is not for kids. I don't think I need to say this, but it goes without saying that this is not for kids. This is definitely not a kid's book. So, just letting you guys know ahead of time. Yeah, it's the Violator. What do you expect?